Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to try and look at how to draw uh, a simple but not too simple a sketch. So I've chosen this minimalist art from Star Wars, Princess Leia. I found that to be very interesting because you can draw this with very basic shapes, which are circle and line. So you can also use a very narrow ellipse to part the hair, but let's see. So I haven't tried it, and let's try this now. So before you start, you should examine the aspects of the shape and the sketch that you have. So here I can see, okay, there is a square display window. The background is kind of light gray. The color of the hair is pitch black. So that makes it a little easy, and we can then play around with it a little bit. The interesting part about this is that, in fact, it would become very easy if we could use arcs. So there's a command or function called arc, and we could have used that, but we would like to draw this using just circles. And you can see over here that here is an arc. And if I just extend that circle, I'm going to try and do my best to draw a decent enough circle, then that's what the circle looks like. And its center is somewhere over here. So if we assume that that's correct, and we can also think about the width and height being, let's say, 400. So that entire value is 400. We would like to determine how much is the diameter of that circle. Now, we can use intelligent guessing and say that, okay, it's half the height, and therefore it's 200. This is middle of the screen, so this is y equals 200. We saw that the origin is that top left corner. So the origin, which is 0, 0, is at top left, which means this is y equals 200. And then at the bottom is y equals 400, which means that between 200 and 400, you have y equals 300. And it seems that the center that I created is pretty much at that place, at that y coordinate. Also, the center of the circle that I created is right in the middle of the display window, which means that it's x equals 200. Using that information, I can hypothesize that the center is at x equals 200 and y equals 300, and also that its diameter is 200. We are going to keep that information aside, and I'm going to clear all my drawings, and we will then carry on with the second circle that we have, which is over here. So here we have a circle which is actually black. And if I extend that circle, I would imagine that it would be somewhere over here. And its center, again, is x equals 200. But this time you can see that the diameter is a little bit lesser than the previous circle. You can also see that the curvature of this circle is lesser. I think that's what it is, which means it's more well bendy. So we can again guess that, okay, if this is y equals 200, This is y equals 300, and this circle's y coordinate is somewhere over here. So between 200 and 300, this is 250. Between 200 and 250, this is 225. So this is just over 225. So an intelligent guess is that it's y equals 220. So x equals 200 and y equals 220 with a diameter of less than 200. So it's about 170, let's say. And we can tweak these values later. Okay, let's start with this much, and then we are going to come and refine our design. So we start with size 500, 500. We saw that that's the function we use to create a display window. The background, and we're not going to worry about the colors. We are directly going to select colors from tools, color selector, and it's really light gray. So we're going to keep it somewhere over here. Copy this color code. I talked about the color code in the lecture, but let's not worry about that. It is some color code. The command is background, and we run this. Okay, so I've got my screen. Let's see if it matches layer. No, it's a bit too light. We can go back and go to tools, color selector, go further down and make it darker. Tools, color selector, it's D3, D3, D3. Okay, and take one hash out. That's what I get. That's princess layer. This is this one. It's still darker. Again, tools, color selector, and BF, 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 copy and paste. Whether it's right or wrong, I'm just going to stick with it. Actually, it's quite close. Okay. Once we have the background, as I said, we have, I forgot, we kept a 400 pixel by 400 pixel window. Sorry about that. That was a display window. Based on that, if I remember correctly, first we are going to draw the smaller circle, which was at 200, 220 with a diameter of 170. And that color, the color of that circle is black. So we're going to fill that with black color. So color selector. And we go all the way to the bottom left, and you can see black is all zeros. You can also simplify and just put a 0 if you want there, but I'm just going to keep it like this right now. On top of that, you're going to draw a circle with the same color as the background, because we don't really want a color in the lower circle. This circle is a bit further down. And if I remember correctly, this was centered at around 300 and its diameter was 200. Let's see what happened. Okay. Let's go back and see the image. Okay, it's a bit further down than what we hope it to be. So all we have to do is reduce the y values for both by 20, and it's gone further up. So that's the image, that's our output. Proportionately, it looks respectable. The top of this circle is at the half, the top circle slightly up. So let's reduce it by another 20, 180 and 260. Let's compare. Yep, that's pretty good, except we don't want any stroke here. We don't want any borders in the second bigger circle. So we can use a function called no stroke for that. And there you go. It's a work in progress. Hopefully, we will see it come to fruition very soon. Now, the parting of hair, I can either draw a line or I can draw a really narrow and really long ellipse. And if I were to draw the ellipse, it would be somewhere over here, the center. Its height will be, its width will be very small, maybe 20 or so, and its height will be 200, 300, something like that. So it's really long, but really narrow. Let's do that. Let's try that. So I have a circle. The two circles centers are at 180 and 260. So this is around 180 and this is 260, which means between these two is above 180 and probably something like 150. Let's try 150. So circle 200, 150. And it's not actually a circle, it's an ellipse. So ellipse can have a different width and height. Its width is very small and its height is very, very large. Let's just try and see. Okay, the hair were parted, but a bit too much. And the curvature could have been a little bit lower. So I'm going to change it to 200. And this one. I'm just playing around a little bit. Looks better, except it's a bit too low, which means I'm going to increase this to 15, 150. Bit nicer, could be a little bit narrower. So I'm going to make this 8 and move this up a little bit just so that it's a bit more symmetric. If I want it symmetric, because the diameter is 150 and this one is 150, okay, just move it a little bit and see. And it's pretty darn good. Maybe the width could be a little bit lower. And a little bit higher. Okay, so some of the things you have to do trial and error, and that gets us there. The last bit are the bunts, and these are ellipses. Is it bun or bunts? I don't know. These are ellipses, and these are fairly easy to draw. But the key is I only have to worry about the coordinates of one ellipse. So if this is x equals 200, this is x equals 100. You can see that the center, if I go further down straight, you can see that the center is just to the left of 100. So this is 100, this is 75, 87.5, and 92. I'm bifurcating, I'm just halving the search space. Okay, so somewhere at 92, x equals 92, y equals 200, this is y equals 300. So this is y equals 250 and pretty much right there. So what do we have? 92, 250. What's the diameter? Let's see. So this diameter, how much is it? If this is 200, this is less than 200, definitely. This is 100. The ellipse's height is more than 100. 150. Yep, similar to 150. So we're going to go with 150 and change it. Its width. If this is 200, definitely width is less than 200. If this is 100, yeah, pretty much a little bit less, but we're going to go with 100. So all four values that we need, we have now. And let's draw, oops, clear all drawings, close this. Let's draw with a black color an ellipse at 92, 250. Is that the case? Yes, 9250. Its width is, as we said, 90 or 100, and height is 150. Let's try that. Not so good. It has to be slightly narrower, slightly taller, and slightly more to the right. So we're going to start at 100. its width will be 80 and height will be 160. So we've tweaked the values a little bit. And okay, it looks better, but not perfect. It has to go up a little bit. A bit further up and further to the right, I would say. So further to the right, 110, and a little bit further up is 220. So we're going to compare the pair, and yes, that's pretty decent. Now the good thing is that if the left bun is 110 pixels from the left, the right bun will be 110 pixels from the right, which is 400, take away 110. Their centers are aligned with each other in terms of y coordinates, so that's 220. Their widths and heights are the same, so we don't have to worry about that either. And I run my program, I put my right bun, and Princess Leia is ready. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found out some useful things about overlaying shapes and how to use basic shapes to construct simple but not too simple of objects. Thank you very much. All the best.